Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Heroes Hearth Warcraft 3. My name is Kendric and it's my pleasure to present to you yet another replay cast, this time between two titans facing each other on Twisted Meadows. On the Undead side of things, of course, we have currently the best player in the world, arguably. We have Happy, looking strong, looking good as always, and his opponent this time, Infi, choosing random on ladder as he so often likes to do. And, of course, now walking in the shoes of the Night Elves, coming into a sexy Night Elf versus Undead match. And of course, if you look at the map, at first you're like, man, this is probably one of the best maps for you as a random player to roll Night Elf on. You know, Night Elves in this map, they can expand on multiple locations. The size of the map, it really just favors this kind of approach. It's a great map for early creeping. You know, using your Ancient of Wars, you can go for a fast expansion. Even if you wanted to, you know, there's a chance of you not getting scouted as quickly because of the multiple starting locations. So it really just favors a lot of the stuff that Night Elf players want to do early on. However, here comes the big deal. You're facing Happy. And Happy always seems to find a magical formula to counter and thwart your plans, whatever you want to do. Let's see if Happy is going to be able to do it this time. Scouting Acolyte coming through early, of course. Scouting in information is super important when you play against a random player. Not just so you know the race, but you also kind of have a guess on which strategy they like to go for. So this is, of course, also an advantage for Infi. Happy not knowing immediately what he's up against. And he goes for a Demon Hunter in a Night Elf Undead matchup these days. There are still several routes the Night Elf player can go. His Keeper, you know, he's not really that common anymore, but it is possible to play the Keeper. It is possible to play Warden sometimes, but definitely not on Twisted Meadows. On other maps, we've seen players like Lowlight do it, even against Undead. So Demon Hunter, I would say, is the most logical choice in all things considered, you know. It's just really good to counter the early DK harass that also Happy is very well known for. It's really the Happy style, if you will, you know, to send your DK in and try to steal experience and items away with Death Coils. And the question now remains, of course, is Happy going to be fast enough to take care of the big Null Overseer? I don't think so. Acolyte last hits, of course, something that Happy is also very well known for. He's trying to go for it this time, but nothing was achieved so far. The DK now, of course, facing the Demon Hunter. He's probably going to get mana burned relatively soon. He drops some skellies as well for good measure and hunts down some wisps immediately. But look at what Happy did. He hasn't actually chosen his level 1 ability yet. He, of course, wanted to see which hero his Night Elf opponent would deploy first. So now he goes Aura first. And why is that so? Because he won't get many Death Coils in, you know, so he's going to get mana burned. So he wants to have additional movement speed and health regeneration to keep up his harass with auto attacks instead. So that's a really common strategy for Undead players to counter the Demon Hunter, which is still so popular, of course. 1 Ziggurat Tech allows the earliest tier 2 rush you can possibly go for with this build. And, you know, a couple of ghouls for more lumber, because he's definitely going to need those soon to be able to be doing some creeping himself here. We see a Wisp coming through for a little bit of harassing here too, which is really good. And now, what can Happy really accomplish here? You can see how well-positioned the Wisps are. Of course, he does great Goldmine Micro as well. They're also next to the Moonwell, but of course, if you can prevent it, you don't want to use any Moonwell juice if you can avoid it, you know, just by microing them smartly. So here we see the Acolyte, by the way, still alive. Oftentimes people, Undead players, they lose their Scouting Acolyte very early on, resulting in more experience, a little bit more for your opponent, but also, of course, losing vision control on the map. So he's now currently letting it patrol near a Goldmine location for Infi, for the Night Elf player. And in the meantime now, I think Happy is finally going to be doing some creeping himself here with skeletons and ghouls. Which location is he going to go towards, though? You know, Twisted Meadows, as good as it is for creeping for Night Elves, I think Undeads, they don't have as easy of a time, really, because a lot of the camps, especially Gold Mines and even this camp here near the Goblin Shop, they're all quite beefy, quite tough if you only have ghouls available. So Happy's going to use a lot of his micro and have a lot of his micro being directed towards the ghouls right now. Losing a ghoul here and there is okay, but losing many of them is certainly unforgivable. And look at the sweet positioning here by the Tomb of Relics, by the way, creating this tight little choke point where he can put his acolytes to, so they won't be chased anymore by this relentless Demon Hunter. Still Happy, though, loses one because he had to pay attention so much, as I said, on the ghouls who are so wounded right now. So that resulted in him losing one Acolyte. Not the end of the day, though, because, of course, now Tier 2 is finished because of this early 1 Ziggurat tech. and now he can produce a replacement Acolyte. Forces Infi out with this Nerubian Tower and the Ghoul as well, so, you know, good thing he had a Tele Staff, super solid, and, you know, even if the tech was still in their way, he could have technically used his Scouting Echo, sent that one back, and help out here. Now, Fiend transition, of course, online, that makes creeping much faster, much easier. The Ghouls come back as well. He didn't really lose any, I think. Maybe lost one, I didn't actually see. Let's see if we can find corpse. Yeah, I think that is a Ghoul. So, okay, he lost one. Not the end of the world, once again, really. His lumber income with 4 Ghouls is still more than secured. And now, of course, with the Fiends, he can just leave him at home altogether. He's going for his own Null camp, by the way. Now we see a Naga Sea Witch coming in from Infi and going straight to tier 3, by the way. Super early tech. Even before the first Dryads get out, he's going immediately for that tech. And, of course, the Naga Sea Witch establishes a lot of dominance, you know, a lot of early game lockdown for the Night Elf player. So if Infi were to find some, you know, innocent little fiends skirmishing around and running around, he would probably be able to get them very soon. Now look at what Infi did here earlier, by the way. The Ancient of War devoured his way through the forest, but now scouted by Happy, who takes it down, but cute little trick here to shorten the distance and get some easier creeping done. So what is Infi up to now? Is he going straight for bears? Is he going straight for a couple of Dryads first? Buildings are finished. Of course, we see some Dryads. Need to be careful, though, against the Fiends, of course. Creeping up a Storm really is Infi. Level 3 is huge for the Demon Hunter. Let's actually take a look at some of the items. He sends him back right now to heal up completely. Although Demon Hunter is so strong against undead heroes, you need to be careful not to be caught by a Death Knight at level 3 when you're in the reds. One coil and it could be over. The Naga Sea Witch, by the way. Double Gloves of Haste. Not bad. Lich coming through. Items for the DK, by the way, are absolutely fantastic. Ring of Regen, Pendant of Energy. Wonderful. That's exactly the kind of stuff you need. Wand of Mana Stealing for the Demon Hunter, a little bit of extra damage, and finds a Pendant of Energy himself, which is, of course, way better for the Naga Sea Witch than on the Demon Hunter, who doesn't really need a lot of mana to begin with anyways. And that's the thing, like, about Night Elf heroes, I often find items that other races would cheer for and probably break into tears because they're so happy and lucky about it. Night Elves oftentimes don't even want to. Imagine a Greater Mana Pot. Night Elves have very few heroes that really benefit of it, except for the Keeper, I would say. But if you find a Greater Mana Pot on a Demon Hunter, meh, not really that great. On a Warden it can be, but it can be great, of course, as well. But Demon Hunter, really, you don't want that. Demon Hunter is such a weird hero in a way that he's a strong fighter, but he just doesn't want some of the really carry items on other heroes. But anyways, let's see what we find. Even for the Naga, it's not that great. If he had gone Keeper second, a Mana Pot would have been fantastic. Even the Pendant of Energy would have been way better on him. Let's see how it's going to fare out. The first Bear now added into the mix as well. Invul, of course, that's something you always want to have against an Undead, especially with the infamous Heroes focus. Grab those Invuls, grab those Scrolls of Healings later on, whenever you can, whenever you're near to a shop. Now, Tree of Life coming through on the 3 o'clock position. And this could be the first of many expansions. Now, what about Happy, though? His Acolyte is in position on the natural. Actually, not the real natural. That would probably be here. The shortest way, but yeah. Let's see if he's going to respond with a counter expansion. 2 base versus 2 base, of course, very good for the Undead. Whenever you have equal bases, really, on an Undead, I think it almost always benefits the Undead player. Simply because their units are relatively expansive later on, and they just get so much done. You know, the unit to cost value is very good for Undeads. So you normally want to have a base advantage, especially as a Night Elf, I feel like, who's likely going to lose way more units throughout a fight because of the strong Undead heroes too later on. And that's really all that Happy is interested in right now. Just keep on creeping, you know, get the Lich to level 3, get the DK to level 4. Obviously a Lion Horn of Stormwind, by the way, fantastic item for those squishy fiends, especially when there's bears nearby that really just are such a menace. And now, of course, we see Infi going for the first red camp. It's really just both players mirroring each other. Actually, Happy doesn't go for the red camp. Did he actually get vision on it? Yes, there's a Skelly scouting out the expansion, so Happy's trying to lock that down and disrupt it while it's still in building process. Does Infi have a TP? No, he does not, right? Maybe the Naga? Yeah, Naga has a TP, okay. So he can definitely go there if he wants to. If that thing actually finishes off, that's the question, of course, but I don't think it will finish, so TP doesn't even matter. And now, exactly when he's disrupting the Night Elves expansion, he's building up his own. That's just really good timing. Really good timing. TP, of course, still in possession for Happy too. No potions at all. No mana pots against the Demon Hunter. No invols so far, but beautiful items in the Lich already. Plus 13 damage with the Robe of the Magi and the Circlet. Fantastic. Speaking of fantastic items, though, Infi can't complain either. I mean, you get a Staff of Silence, you drop that on the DK, and you just finish off those undead units like they were made of butter. I like it, actually. The Death Knight finding Orb of Darkness. Now, I remember in Fight Night with Grubby earlier, I think it was Nadebo. I forgot the opponent he was fighting. I think it might have been Shaddai. Or Ente. One of the two. But when he was in that game, the Undead player 2 found the Orb of Darkness, and Grubby and I were losing our minds of how bad that item could probably be. But then we ended up having a game where the Undead player with the Orb of Darkness was able to kill off, I think it was even on this map too, where he was able to kill off a Zeppelin near the trees here, and it made it crash with full heroes and units in it. Fun story though, the Night Elves still won because of Vast Base's advantage, but yeah, definitely one of the best Fight Night memories that I have personally. So let's see, maybe the Orb of Darkness is a good luck fortune charm can once again work off its magic. Now we see the real Demon Hunter, no illusion at first. I thought it was an illusion maybe. But coming in, trying to cause a little bit of mischief and mayhem. But of course, Happy doesn't even... he doesn't even blink about that. He's just all about keeping the base count of Infi as low as possible. And I think that was maybe one of the reasons why Infi sent his Demon Hunter in here in the first place. Just to deal a little bit of damage and prevent Happy from really staying too focused and distract him a little bit. Immediate TP coming in to save this expansion, by the way. Doesn't even break a sweat, Infi that is. Sorry, Happy that is. And he knows exactly that currently with his heroes and of course the addition of the strong Lich, he is going to be very able of killing a unit. Maybe even killing a hero. Look at the speed and the body blocking skills from Happy immediately with a level 2 aura. So fast, so furious. Body blocks the Naga into a choke point near the tree, and then of course forces out a TP like it was nothing really. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter's still busy trying to get nothing done. Because Happy is just happy and his micro is too good. Even has Burrow on the Fiend, so that's easy peasy. Now he's going to add another defensive tower with Spirit Tower. Super strong now. Okay, this harass will be a little bit more annoying for Happy to deal with. I love how Infi just spreads out his army into two massive pieces, One piece currently harassing the Undead, the other one just roaming around the map. Some archers in the base. I'm not sure if maybe he leaves them on purpose because he doesn't want them to be intercepted by the Lich and the DK right now. So he will probably add them later once he has a critical mass of them. Which in the late game is something a lot of Night Elves like to still have, Critical mass of archers, a lot of upgrades. Still very lethal, especially against those destroyers later. Oh! You know why he did it? So he used the coil, although there was no chance, of course, to killing the Demon Hunter in the first place, but he wanted to make sure that he just drops down in HP as much as possible, so he has to use 1, maybe 2 instances of Rejuvenation. The bears are going to be dry in mana. Even if he had TP'd or teleported into the base, that would have been a lot of extra Moonwell juice. So Happy, man, really just showing an asserting dominance here with the strong hero nuke coming through. I also love the fact that he leaves, of course, the Orb of Darkness on the DK. The Lich is already more than happy with the Orb of Corruption. Now, we have an air attack potentially incoming in for the DK, a little bit of extra damage too. So, definitely agree with that choice. And once again, Infi is trying to siege up in Happy's Undead base a little bit. Kills Acolyte here, kills an Acolyte down there, a Ghoul here and there. But no real major damage is being dealt, and Happy, in the meantime, he killed off an entire base. Once again, another expansion attempt thwarted by Infi. And this is the infamous Night Elf style that I mentioned in the introduction of this game, There's expansion over here, expansion over there, attempted expansion over here. So, Infi really is just going for this lame style where he's trying to abuse strong sieging potential with Mountain Giants, grabbing some sticks, dealing siege damage, and really just forcing Happy to TP all the time. And now Happy's forced to run across the map again, which takes a long time because of Twisted Meadows being so big. And eventually, I think Infi is going to have 1, 2, or maybe 3 bases up at the same time. And how is Happy going to respond to this? Keep in mind, though, of course, this is all very expensive for Infi. like resummoning the Trees of Life all the time. So his army as a response, or as a consequence, is very weak. So Happy really... Sorry, Infi. He really doesn't want to go for a straight-up fight at the moment. And keep in mind that losing these trees and losing wisps that are trying to repair it just continuously trickles in experience for the Undead player. And that second base, by the way, is so important right now for Happy to maintain. You know, it really makes sure he has enough resources to always have a TP, to always have enough items ready. You know, just look at this Lich. I mean, Scroll of the Beast, Potion of Lesser Invul. It's just insane how dangerous this guy is right now. And here we see the TP that we talked about. Of course, Infi always has a counter TP ready on the Naga, who is so susceptible to getting nuked. So yeah, this is really just a game of cat and mouse, you know, to play. And keep in mind, the DK doesn't have a TP scroll. He only has a TP staff, tele staff. So if he is getting caught out, he's in trouble. But he has a, by the way, really coming in handy, the Belt of Giant Strength, you know, giving him the additional HP to get away with those cheeky harass maneuvers.
Our forces are under attack.
But yeah, this base needs to stay alive at all costs for Happy. Otherwise, rebuying these TP scrolls constantly is going to be such a burden, you know, really financially. And this, once again, now we see actually the value of this this path in the trees, because it basically shortens the run bys by Infi, right? Instead of running over here, running over there, and running here, it's just much shorter to just pass through in the middle, you know, so you don't have to take that curveball over here or that curve over there. So really nice for this run-by style, you know, especially when there's cross-position, cross-expansion. So every second when you play this style that Infi's currently playing, every second matters, you know. Sometimes the second makes the difference between getting caught, getting that quote to the face, and listening to your demon's death cry, or not. And once again, this Achilles heel of the Undead base is trying to be abused and harassed on. By the way, I love this diversion to send your destroyers onto the Goblin Shredders. So huge. I mean, Infi probably has more than enough lumber himself right now. Yeah, 1,500. But, you know, it's still nice experience. It's still nice. And if he wants to rebuy it, it's very expensive. It's a very expensive unit. And he tries to go for the Tree of Eternity this time. He fakes, by the way, he fakes a TP with a Staff of Teleportation so that maybe Infi would already TP to safety himself. In the heat of battle, sometimes it's really hard to tell if it's a tele staff or a TP scroll, judging from the different spell effects that are just so similar too. Alright, but now he goes for the TP though. Now he knows that he needs to defend his expansion. He killed off the Tree of Eternity. Super huge. A little bit of a safe position here for Happy to TP to. He probably expected Infi to run towards the south and evacuate, but still okay. Gets an archer. And most importantly, gets the tech building, gets the Tree of Eternity. So let's see. How many bases for Infi? 1. That one is in process. 2 mining. Almost 3 mining.
Our forces are under attack.
But Happy cancels another one. And Undeads, unlike Orcs, for example, or humans, when it comes to sieging up bases, their armies just don't deal as much damage, you know, to take down buildings quickly. Orcs could go for raiders in this situation. Humans could go mortar teams easily. But Undeads, for them to go meat wagons, or even frostworms for sieging up, it just takes so many resources and takes so much time, right? Okay, we see hero focus early once again before he gets mana burned. But yeah, that's not really going to matter too much for the Demon Hunter with so much HP. And now, Happy finally tries to make an outpost. He tries to go for a forward base, and at the same time, of course, deny Infi for access to this base that's so close to his expansion. So I think that's a really smart move. And once again, Happy at this point, he would win every straight-up fight, every straight-up encounter. It's just basically for Infi to sting like a bee, you know, come in with an attack here, come in with an attack there, kill some acolytes over here, kill some acolytes over there, get experience at the same time, and then just continue to block the mining of the Undead player. Now he actually sends the Lich over, Happy that is. And was that too ambitious? No, because the Death Knight is just here, right there. And now we have a 2-hero versus 2-hero, no units here, and Infi evacuates. He knows that with the towers in his back, there was no way he could have actually evacuated the Naga safely. I love what Happy is doing here as well, selling some items that he probably won't need. So he gets additional gold for items, or potions, I should say, rather than TPs. But that's the thing. You force the Undead player to spend so much money, so much gold onto these items, you know, cost TP here, TP there. In terms of income, Infi is slowly but surely getting himself into a very comfortable position. 1,
Is complete.
2. But this one is getting destroyed now, excuse me.
Our town is under
It's such an uncomfortable position for Happy to be in. You need to have your army rotate super well all the time. He probably won't even be able to kill this expansion here because Infi just waited patiently with his wisps to repair. But faking once again, the TP faking it with a telestaff, but not committing to it. Also baiting out the wisp this way, and now he kills off the expansion. So well played, so smart. 300 IQ Happy.
The dam stand ready.
But on the flip side, Infi, he's a big brain player himself as well. He knows how to play this, and he kills off most of the acolytes once again. What about this Undead expansion, by the way? He builds an Ancient of War right into his face. Once again, tells Happy, you need to be dealing with this.
The dam
So Happy, he's just like a janitor, you know, trying to fix several things in a huge apartment building,
summoning is
apartment complex, you know,
summoning is complete.
trying to repair some toilets here, trying to fix some electronics over there. It's just like he needs to work on so many different construction sites on the map right now. And Infi is splitting out his army. He's splitting his army so well. Even tries to go for an altar. You know, all these things need to be rebuilt eventually. But now with 2 base, or 2 expansions, I should say, the Undead looking so good. He even devours a Fiend for the ritual, so he has another Nova ready. He drops it right now. More auto attacks coming through. He has an invul. Doesn't even need it though because of Staff of Preservation, man. Infi's so smart with his rotations around the map. You can really tell he's enjoying this playstyle, right? You can really tell he's enjoying that. Okay. So the Demon Hunter, of course, rejuvenated. And like a slippery man, Infi continues to evade Happy. Now he's even going to take a cheeky creep camp here next to the Goblin Laboratory.
The dam stand ready.
Not too bad. Level 5 Naga Sea Witch, you know, these Acolyte kills and Ghoul kills, they really ramp up over the course of time. Level 5 Death Knight, level 4 Lich.
Our goal
And at this point, it's almost impossible to maintain a count over how many bases Infi has left when you're Happy. You know, you're just running around, you're trying to get as much damage dealt as possible. The main gold mine, of course, has run out now. Infi actually has this one left because the Trees of Eternity was killed earlier. So that's good for another 2,100 gold.
summoning is
What's the bank currently for Happy, by the way? Not as high as I thought it would be. Now keep in mind that Happy didn't really have to reproduce any units. It's mostly just items that he had to rebuy constantly. A little bit of tower micro could result in a kill here on this Dryad. But of course Happy has to work on several fronts right now. Like maintaining good unit micro, tower micro, hero micro, all at once. If there's one player that can do it, it's him. But oh man, there were actually some sappers coming through from the creep camp that he just got. And there's another unit coming through. So this could be the end of the Necropolis and the tower. This means no more TP, right? No more TP. Oh, it wasn't enough. He just got the tower there. Not enough damage. The Necropolis was not focused. He gets another Spirit Tower for his efforts, though, and TP's out to safety. So small Beastings once again delivered by Infi. All going to be so annoying to repair. So annoying to rebuild. But this expansion looks okay. These poor little Acolytes, though.
our forces are under attack.
I wonder if you're happy at this place, if you're just, in this situation, if you're just building mass towers, or maybe 2 more towers here each. But that, of course, costs so much money and time. And Infi is not going to sit there idly, you know. He might actually just kill those towers while they're in production. Demon Hunter close to 6. Naka even getting close to 6. Not that it really matters. I don't think we're going to see a Cyclone here. If the Naga lady would be turning level 6. Would probably just go for Quirk Lightning. Actually, never mind. Frost Arrows level 3.
Forces are under attack.
A bear kill here. Feels good, man. Look at the Acolytes even forcing their attention onto the Archer, you know. And actually building this Haunted Gold Mine in the face of Infi there. So, you know, Happy, I really have to give him a lot of credit for how he reacts to this. Not only does he maintain a solid defense in his own bases, but he's also trying to mimic somewhat the style of Infi here, you know, building more and more Haunted Gold Mines. And now this one is actually finished, so the tree was cancelled. He split his heroes and his army into 2 parts to be able to deal with this multi-prong harass from Infi a little bit better. And I think the Undead is regaining some momentum here. 1 base, 2 base, 3 base. And as good and easy as it was for Infi to harass 2 base, 3 and 4 base, it's not going to be as easy anymore, you know? There's only so much damage you can deal. At some point, Infi is going to be forced to fight a straight-up battle. 71 supply for Happy right now. This looks super good for him right now. This base is so huge because it also creates a larger distance between the bases, you know? Before, Infi could just go always here and here. But now he has to split his troops here and potentially there in the bottom too. And if he harasses the bottom, the top remains unharmed and vice versa. So the harass for Infi at the same time becoming more and more difficult now. He keeps running in. He keeps splitting his forces though. Hero Naga over here. Units and Demon Hunter over there. And eventually these these acolytes, they will really result in a level 6 soon, you know? That doesn't even have to share the experience with the Naga at the moment, who's busy causing all sorts of trouble nearby here. Even a 15 HP archer. Even that one here is in trouble. I mean, if the acolyte just wanted, he could probably... Oh, look at this fake. Look at this fake. Oh my god, that level 3 forked lightning. So huge. Happy response with a Nova, though. The Cylance a little bit too late. Just a second.
Our town is under attack.
Level 3 forked lightning. So huge against those acolytes. Oh my lord. Oh my goodness. So what is Happy currently doing? He doesn't defend this top location. He wants to lower the base number, the base count of his opponent here instead. I like the fact that he added like 1 or 2 A-bombs into his composition. You know, the normal damage is really going to help out take these bases more quickly. And he even defends the top left side expansion. So huge. Yeah, he's trying to... Oh my goodness, Metamorphosis, by the way, is coming in through now. Level 6, I think Infi is brave enough, bold enough to look for a fight here. Even the Naga in the mix right now. One Mountain Giant, the Dryads are falling. I'm not sure if the Night of player can take this fight. He focuses down the Lich almost, though. No mana on the DK. Had to really be positioning himself conservatively so he doesn't get shot by the mana burn again. And it looks like my first assumption was wrong. It looks like with the power of both of his heroes and that Mountain Giant, Infi has what it takes to fight, you know? Fork Lightning coming through once again, killing a couple of fiends. And now Happy is fighting into the Metamorphosis. Normally something you don't want to do. Normally you run away when you see the Demon Hunter transform, but a lot of units hurt on the side of Happy, but only some lost. And I think this was overall still a good fight because of impeccable micro with a burrow. So huge from Happy. And now Metamorphosis, of course, is going to be on a long cooldown. Meanwhile, we see the Stick Brothers, you know, the Mountain Giants hammering onto these buildings, but now, of course, need to be evacuated. Yeah, and you know what? Spirit Towers here and there in the bottom. This is well fortified. I like this. Maybe add another Ziggurat with a Narub. But yeah, this main base is still very well fortified. This one is still running. This base, at some point, has become the safest of them all now because this one is closer. This one is closer to Infi. So the natural actually looking really, really good now. TP scroll activated, invul. So none of the undead heroes needs to fear getting focused too hard. Such a cool game, you know. But only now we see resistance skin, by the way. So right now, if Happy had enough mana and if he knew about it, the Nova and the Coils could actually deal tremendous damage onto this. But look at the beautiful cat and mouse play once again by Infi, you know. Forces out another TP, but Happy is here to stay. And now the A-bombs, of course, with Frost Armor even, are going to be so resilient and so dangerous for these Mountain Giants to face, you know. Normal damage is the best thing you could have. But these heroes, if only they had a little bit more mana, that would be fantastic. And now the huge model size of the Mountain Giants actually crippling themselves a little bit, body blocking themselves. Alright. But looks like they're safe for now. 3-1, by the way, 3 attack upgrade. That is just so huge for the Mountain Giants to be just so dangerous when it comes to tearing down buildings. Once again, the target prioritization by Happy, so good. Oh, miscalculating the coil damage just a little bit here. Every coil matters, really. That is just... That can't be stressed enough, you know. Every coil matters with Demon Hunter just sapping mana all the time. And these heroes, you know, they don't care about those towers. They just take lives once again. Do we have a TP? Yep, we do have a TP. Staff TP to safety. That's the way you need to do it. He was actually using teleportation staff. I don't think he was using the scroll. So easy peasy here. Yep. That's exactly what they did. Alright, Demon Hunter. Can you do it again? Metamorphosis is soon going to be ready.
Our town is under attack.
Summoning is complete.
Man, these mountain giants, though, they are so annoying to deal with. It kind of reminds me of a game of Undead versus Human, when the human player just goes mass tanks, you know? So hard to kill, so much damage against buildings. And speaking of a lot of damage, the chaos damage from the Metamorphosis is going to shred those towers too. And if the Acolytes decide to repair that, he can switch targets and boom. 2 shots maybe. Keep in mind that the attack also splashes off quite nicely, so these Acolytes are not gonna... He actually out-damages the 2 repairing Acolytes, can you believe it? So massive, so huge. Another expansion falling. Happy has to respond to so many fires all around the map. And I'm not sure if he has what it takes. This is insane. The Metamorphosis could even kill. Yeah, it kills off the Haunted Gold Mine. Happy is soon going to bleed. He is going to bleed in terms of income. There's another one. The Mountain Giants have come as well. This base is gone. Absolutely gone. And what can Happy do? His base race potential at this point has been crippled. This base is still mining. This base is still mining, but no Acolytes. Yeah, he's trying his luck, you know. He's trying his best in a counterattack. But what are you going to counterattack into?
Our town is under attack.
Yeah, this is an easy kill right there. The Mountain Giants, by the way, at this point are becoming the bane. The bane of Happy. Alright, at least he gets a counter kill. The Tree of Eternity here. So what are we going to happen here? Is Happy at some point going to be able to catch Infi in his rotations around the map, you know? Can he maybe catch a hero? That would be super important at this point. It's really hard to observe from me as well, so bear with me, please, guys. You know, when there's so much action going on all over the map the entire time. Yeah, the double Staff of Preservation is so huge. The TP scroll, the invols, it's just all so good from Infi right now. He always seems to be exactly prepared, and keep in mind that this is not an easy thing to play. Even the body blocks on the army to split it a little bit in half right now. So nice. This is not an easy... It may look easy to play from Infi, but you always need to be in your tippy toes. You need to have the right items ready at the right time. You need to be prioritizing the right base at the right time, otherwise you're running into the Undead's hands, and that's not something you want to avoid at all costs. And now they're tackling the Black Citadel. This Dryad, by the way, is so low, he would love to snack that. Can't get it. And once again, double prong attack. Attack the main base in the bottom, attack the expansion in the top. The Way of the 100 Fists, I want to call this style from Infi. The Way of the 100 Fists. He's striking everywhere. So huge. Level 6 almost on the Naga. We're probably not going to see Cyclone. I know some of you guys would love that, but I am not so sure. Yeah, he gets one here. Nice. He gets one Dryad. Sold the Orb of Darkness, by the way, a long time ago. So no Skelly spawning. Yeah, also just the hugest of items, really, for Infi. Like, Staff of Silence, the Lion Horn, the Vampiric Aura. Like, it's just so huge. Just some really, really good items he found across the way. And is Happy still mining? Yeah, he's probably still mining here, but that's the only base left. This one is gone. That one is gone. So yeah, he is down to the knees. He's brought down to the knees. The only good thing in this situation for him is that the fewer bases he's got, the more predictable for him it becomes to know where the Night Elf is going to strike. And Infi at some point has to fight the army a little bit more. Yeah, oh my goodness. Oh my god, Infi. He gets the Cyclone out of it as well. A little bit of building damage, you know, it's great for sieging, actually. It's great for sieging. There's probably not many other things it's good for, but, you know, it deals a little bit of damage. It's still channeling, by the way, so you need to be... Okay. He aborted the channel duration now. And silenced a couple of units here. But man, so much damage now with the Cyclone and the Metamorphosis. These Undead buildings are going to melt down.
The damned stand ready.
Still, 74 army supply. Let's go to Infi. What does he have? 78, man. He's getting close to it. You know, he's technically the only player really mining tons of income right now. And actually, throughout all this, we didn't even pay attention to what was going on in the back of Infi's base. He now has Chimeras. Chimeras, upgrades-wise, 3-3. The dream. The dream of Chimeras, of course, he can upgrade them to become siege units as well. And then, I think this could really be the nail in the coffin. I don't think Infi wants to use them in a fight against units. He wants to use them as additional sieging tools, you know. Now, keep in mind, they don't fight back against other air units, so the Destroyer micro here is very good. The Destroyer target prioritization is really good for Infi. So he's keeping the Chimeras at bay this way, and can now force on the ground army. But does he really have what it takes? One Chimera actually made it through and is now focusing on the statues, which is so much damage! These statues are important. Infi, Happy can't just rebuild them, you know. Mountain Giants in the front, Demon Hunter in the back, helping the units there. This could be one of the longest fights between two armies that we've seen in this game because Infi just refused to fight to the terms of Happy. And by the way, can we just take a moment to see how much damage this Fort Lightning just deals? Crazy damage. A great micro once again with a burrow from Happy. He knows exactly that he doesn't want to lose those fiends. He actually manages to kill almost all the Dryads. Another Lightning coming through. Huge damage from the Naga, who basically becomes a range carry at this point too. He gets one of the Chimeras though. But there's more Chimeras. And at this point, I think Happy sees the reinforcements of the Night Elf players. Look how they 2-3 shots those undead units. And I think he realized that this might be the end. No more income for Happy. The best undead in the world brought down to the knees by Infi and is run by strategy. Or is it actually going to be the case? Can the heroes maybe turn the tide once again for the undead player like they have done so many times in the past? The focus is too strong. And Happy has to tap out here. A strong performance by both players. Happy just really defending wave after wave, harass attempt after harass attempt. But Infi, with his own skills, with his own micro and macro actually, having several army parts scattered around the map, just too good, just too annoying for the undead player to fight off this style on Twisted Meadows. Probably also because of the lack of normal damage normally for an undead army, you know, until you add abominations, which comes very late, which are very expensive to produce. So yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed that game. I think that was a splendid performance by both players and very entertaining to watch. Very hard to cast for me, so please bear with me. You know, in a situation like that, you would love to have a dedicated observer, maybe a second caster to back you up. But I did my best, and I hope you find it enjoyable because I certainly did enjoy casting these games for you. So yeah, feel free to hit that thumbs up button, to leave a subscription on the channel for more Warcraft 3 content in the future, with Reforged around the corner and all the hype about esports, you know, the recently announced ESL Pro League. I think it's just good times ahead. It's beautiful to follow the regrowth of Warcraft 3, and I'm glad to be able to share my part. So yeah, guys, talk to you soon in the next video. Until then, stay safe.